Hey, great job downloading my marriage recovery roadmap. Now that roadmap is going to be hitting your email inbox here in about 5 to 10 minutes, but be sure to watch this video right now so that I can help you use this roadmap to quickly start saving and rebuilding your marriage after your affair without spending endless hours in counseling sessions. Now, as a mentor and coach to men for more than 18 years, I want you to know that this roadmap is going to show you the exact 3 steps that not only I use as a marriage recovery specialist, but this is the essential path that any and all husbands must take in order to save and rebuild their marriage after it's been damaged by their affair. In short, this is the stuff that absolutely works. So let's go ahead and dive into the training right now.
Now, as you probably know by now, saving a marriage after it's been damaged by your affair is not easy to do. According to research, between 65 to 75% of straying spouses fail to save their marriage after infidelity. And there are 3 main reasons why marriages struggle to recover after an affair. Reason number 1, wives stop believing in the marriage after a husband has been unfaithful. Your act of infidelity was a devastating blow to your wife that now has her questioning lots of things, including if it's even possible to ever be a happy couple again. I mean, think about it. The one man who promised her he would be faithful forever is the same one who betrayed her in the worst possible way. Okay, the second reason why so many marriages don't make it after an affair is because wives stop trusting their husbands, and most men fail to rebuild that trust the right way. Without trust, there's no way your marriage will fully recover, so you must urgently address this problem with the right guidance and wisdom. Okay, the third biggest reason why marriages don't recover after an affair is because the passion and love is gone, and most couples don't know how to revive it. You see, your wife had this vision that you would passionately and exclusively love her for a lifetime, but that vision died the day she found out about your affair. It broke her. Much of her anger, sadness, and possibly even depression centers around the thought that you chose someone else instead of her. Okay, these are the 3 problems that give us insight into why marriages struggle to recover after an affair. And I'm sure you know this, but too much is at stake if you fail to solve these problems properly. In fact, if you don't address them with a clear plan of action, you will lose your family. And losing your wife and your kids would be the ultimate price to pay for your affair. Divorce and the carnage that it leaves behind will reverberate in the lives of your children and even their children for years to come. Now, if you're like most men we coach, somewhere on your marriage journey, you lost your way. So what you really need right now is a clear plan and a pathway to help you get back on track, to get you from point A to point B. Now, I realize most struggling husbands don't have that kind of clarity. Listen, I get it. There's a lot of misinformation out there. In fact, even what you'd hear from most marriage counselors doesn't work. So it's really difficult to know exactly what you must do to save and rebuild your marriage. Well, the good news is that I'm going to change that for you today. I'm going to show you that clear path. But before I do, how do you know if this information applies to your situation? This is our Rebuilder Husband's Blueprint, and it's really quite simple. It shows the 4 phases of marriage recovery that every rebuilder husband must go through to successfully save and rebuild a happy marriage after his affair. Go ahead and take a second and identify where you are on the scale. Now, if you're somewhere near the bottom and your marriage is in serious trouble right now, you probably don't have a clear path to help you get where you want to be. So what this blueprint does is it helps you identify where you are in the journey. Next, I'm going to show you the actual steps that you must take to get to the top so you and your wife are happy and in love again. So let me show you the way to get up this mountain. This is my marriage recovery roadmap, and it shows you the steps that you must take to save and rebuild your marriage. Now, I'm going to briefly cover each of these steps to get you crystal clear on what you should be doing step by step. Now, I'll move through this quickly because you're going to be receiving your copy of this roadmap in a few minutes, but know this. Once a marriage has been damaged by an affair, the path to marriage recovery involves following these 3 core steps. Also notice how these 3 core steps are each broken down into 3 distinct parts or phases. Now, we refer to these 3 steps as step 1, restore hope. Step 2, rebuild trust. And step 3, rekindle passion and love. So let's go ahead and go through them. Now, if you're going to save your marriage and your family, you start by restoring hope in your marriage. Remember, your wife lost faith and hope in your marriage after your affair. And whether she tells you or not, she has serious doubts about the marriage working. So if you want to save your marriage, the very first thing you must do is restore your wife's hope. Now, to restore her hope, there are 3 things that you must do, and you want to do them in this order. First, you must kill your affair. Now, you might be thinking, but I don't even see the other woman anymore, or the affair is over and has been over for several months, and that may be true, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you killed the affair. You see, your wife still has all kinds of concerns and questions. She wonders things like, why was I not enough for him? Or she also may be thinking, what's to keep you from going back to the other woman? And she likely wants to know if you still think about her. Listen, it is your job to calm her fears about even the possibility of you cheating again. So in this Kill the Affair segment, I show you the step-by-step protocol thousands of people have successfully used to kill their affair and prevent any future affairs. After you've killed the affair, now it's time to develop the rebuilder mindset. And this step is foundational to the overall recovery process. You see, your wife needs to know that you get it, that you truly understand her pain and what she's going through. This is crucial to the healing process. So during this step, I show you the most important character qualities, the attitudes, and even the specific things you should be saying and not saying to help your wife heal from your affair faster. Now, once you understand the rebuilder mindset, you then move on to the love bank concept. So let me ask you this. What makes people fall in and out of love with each other? And what are the conditions and relationship dynamics that predictably lead to an affair? Well, the Love Bank helps answer questions like these. The Love Bank is a figurative but powerful concept that illustrates what's actually happening when two people are falling in and out of love with each other. You see, there are behaviors and attitudes that make your wife feel love for you, which are called Love Bank deposits. When you make enough deposits, she will be in love with you. But there are also things you do that make her unhappy and fall out of love with you. We call these Love Bank withdrawals. Now, we don't have time on this video to break down all the nuances of how the Love Bank works, but the key takeaway for now is this. Make sure you are doing the things that make lots of deposits into your wife's Love Bank each and every day. And also make sure you're avoiding those withdrawals. Okay, so that concludes the first step, the Restore Hope step. Now, by the end of this first step, your wife will be ready to work on the marriage with you because her confidence and her hope in the marriage will have awakened. By the way, one of the extra special things that I do for our clients to help jumpstart their wife's hope in the marriage is I give them a short video that explains to their wife what my program is all about. Now, this is a major win for my clients because wives feel more secure knowing that their husband has a real plan guided by a professional, not just a husband's wishful thinking. Okay, now for the second step in our roadmap, which is rebuild trust. You know this, but trust is crucial to the success of any marriage relationship. Marriages cannot survive without trust. So during this step, we help you rebuild trust with your wife by walking you through the greatest threats to trust, which are love threats. Now, love threats are the instincts, the behaviors, and the words that destroy trust and romantic love. Your affair caused you to lose lots of trust points and love units, so the fastest way to rebuild trust is to eliminate these love threats with a specific set of actions. In this part of the rebuild trust step, we unpack 4 of the 6 love threats. Now, after you understand the first 4 love threats, the next part of this rebuild trust step is the Trust Builder Toolkit. This is where I help you address number 5 of the 6 love threats, which is dishonesty. Now, the reason we give this particular love threat concentrated attention is because overcoming dishonesty and the consequences of your deceitful double life is critical to rebuilding trust, and you need wisdom and special skills to do that. So that's where the Trust Builder Toolkit comes in. Through this toolkit, we give you those specific skills and wisdom that you need to overcome dishonesty. Okay, the final part of the rebuild trust step is independent behavior. The Bible describes marriage as a one flesh relationship when it says the two shall become one flesh. Now, something that's very important to understand about this one flesh dynamic is that almost everything you do affects each other. That's because the marriage relationship was designed to be interdependent, not independent. Too many spouses make decisions without thinking about how it affects the other spouse. And this is a major reason why they have conflict and a difficult time resolving it. And you don't just need some new conflict resolution skills either. What you really need is a new paradigm for how you approach marital conflict altogether. So we coach you up on how to use a very effective and proven strategy that we call the policy of mutual agreement. This policy gives you a much better way to resolve conflict with way less drama. Okay, that wraps up step 2, the rebuild trust step. Now, by the end of this step, you and your wife will have a strong sense of hope and optimism as the trust bridge has been reconstructed and is now operational. Now it's time to move on to the third and final step of the marriage recovery process, which is rekindle passion and love. This final step is all about making those love bank deposits into your wife's love bank so that her feelings of passion and love for you are revived. And our goal is to revive them to where it's even better than your best days as a couple. So the first thing we do in this step is we show you how to identify and meet your wife's 5 most important emotional needs. Again, this is the best way to make those love deposits into your wife's love bank so that she falls back in love with you again. And just FYI, once your wife is getting her needs met consistently, she'll want to meet your needs as well. And don't worry, we coach her up on how to do that. Okay, after I show you how to meet the most important emotional needs of your wife, the next part of the rekindle step is the priority principle. And this is very important. During this phase, I help you deepen your intimacy and your love for each other. And I do this by giving you a framework that makes it easier and more practical to consistently keep your marriage relationship as your number one priority above all other relationships and responsibilities. And after I teach you how to implement the priority principle, the final piece to this rekindle step is all about your personal transformation. Sustaining a happy, lifelong marriage requires some new habits, routines, and a better way to manage your emotions. You cannot stay the same and expect a better relationship. So in the personal transformation segment, I show you how to become a better version of yourself by tapping into your God-given powers. Okay, completion of the personal transformation segment also marks the completion of the entire third step, rekindle passion and love. So by the end of the rekindle step, you're going to have the knowledge and the resources that you need to foster a lifelong happy marriage full of passion and love. And that concludes the marriage recovery roadmap. Now you're probably thinking, wow, Marshall, that's great. I understand I need to restore hope in my marriage. I understand I need to rebuild trust. And I understand I need to rekindle passion and love, but how do I do all that? Well, in the limited time that I've had on this video, I've shown you what you should be doing and what the most successful husbands in the world are doing to save and rebuild their marriages after their affair. Well, now you have a choice. You can do things the hard way or the simple way. Let me ask you this. How long have you been struggling trying to save your marriage on your own? Most men who try to save their marriage on their own, they end up divorced, dealing with custody battles, and spending thousands of dollars in legal fees and child support. Some try marriage counseling, and maybe you've done that in the past. You might even be going through marriage counseling right now. Well, I'm here to tell you there's a reason why marriage counseling does not work for most people. In fact, counseling involves a lot of techniques that have actually been proven not to work. One of which is rehashing your marriage problems, which is no fun, especially when you're the spouse who cheated. Listen, if you're really serious about saving your marriage and your family, here's what you need to do. Now that you're crystal clear on what you need to do, the next step is to schedule a call with us to help get you crystal clear on how to apply this information to your specific situation and to see how or if I can help you get there. There's absolutely no cost for this call. The downside is I only have a limited number of calls available per week, and my calendar usually fills up. So if you'd like to grab one, do it now. Now, you might be wondering, why are we offering free strategy calls? And it's really simple. Because a percentage of the people that we talk to decide to work with us to help save and rebuild their marriage. But there's no pressure. Either way, whether you decide to work with us or not, I'll help get you crystal clear on the exact 2 to 3 steps that you should be taking right now. But take note, this is a commitment on your calendar and you're taking up someone else's place. So please be prepared to book a session in the next 72 hours. Now, this is not a call for me to convince you of something. It's not a call for me to try and explain what we do or go over what you just watched in this video. Time on this call is very limited, so you should be focused and ready to talk so that we can discuss where you are now on the Rebuild Your Husband blueprint and where you want to be. And we'll get you crystal clear on the number one thing that you should be doing right now, given your situation, to get you on the path to saving and rebuilding your marriage. So go ahead and click below to book now. I really look forward to speaking with you soon.